Okay. Jody and I would like to thank everyone for being here today. It means a lot to us that Reb Zalman was able to be here and be the Sandik, and how Rabbi Mark opened the shul to us. Rabbi Shiner is also really happy to be able to be here, and Rabbi Gabriel, my Chavrusa. I can't remember, the last time I learned Gemara was probably 11 years ago. And we have a chazaka of a weekly seder, and it's awesome that we can have this diverse, different rabbis that are here, and everybody can just be here to be partaking in the simcha. As we can see, when we make a bris, it's a big party, and everybody's happy. Well, obviously, the child's going through a lot of suffering. But it's a happy occasion because our son is making his first steps towards joining the ranks of his brothers. So why do we wait 8 days before having the bris? I mean, I was in Foothills Hospital this past week, and on the second day, on Sunday, they came over to us and like, oh, are you guys going to do a circumcision? And we're like, yeah. They're like, okay, we'll do it. Oh, no, we're waiting. We're going to do it on day 8. And now we're talking the greenest hospital in the most liberal city in America, and they want to do it on day 2. We know it's not for health reasons that we're waiting till the baby's a little older. One of the reasons that I found was because God created the world in 7 days. And the 8th day represents what man can do to make it complete. We know that God created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th. The 8th day signifies the role that we as people are taking on the process of creation by tending and developing to the world that God has created in 7 days. There's a midrash that relates an exchange between Turnus Rufus and Rabbi Akiva regarding Bris Milah. Turnus Rufus was arguing that circumcision is unnecessary. I mean, if God, makes everything perfect, why wouldn't He make a child? Something come perfect into this world. Why would we need an altar in any way? To answer him, Rabbi Akiva brought stalks of wheat and some freshly baked cakes, and he asked Turnus Rufus, which is more beneficial to us? With this, he explained, God provides man with materials and ingredients, but it is man's obligation to refine and perfect these natural things and to raise it to a higher place. One that is above creation, above nature, and connecting to God in a supernatural way. A bris milah on the 8th day is a mitzvah that was given to us in order to remind us that we should always be striving, refining, and using our resources that God has given us to bring everything one step closer to perfection. The commandments are given to us with the hope that we can use them with the world and nature God has created in order to achieve our purpose. The whole world in reality is given to us as a blank slate to perfect ourselves and use nature and our surroundings to grow in many ways, as people co-creating a world that is perfect for us, our families, and our communities. Our move to Boulder was what we needed to do. Every day, we wake up and feel a connection to nature, God, and a better understanding of our purpose in the world. On that note, we'd like to thank our families for coming from all over. My mom, who came from Israel, my father and brother Tully from Chicago, my sisters Penina and Debbie, and my brother-in-law Michael, and their 3 beautiful daughters, Chloe, Olivia, and Juliet, who came from New York. Jody's grandmother, who some of you may remember, was just here for Pesach, and she never thought she would come to Colorado. She just thought it was a place that she learned at school or on the mat. Her mother, who's going to be spending lots of time with us this summer, God willing. Her father, who found time while hot spring hopping throughout the state here in Colorado and Arizona to make it to the bris. And her brother and my brother Uri and his wife Flani were so happy that you guys were able to come out here and spend a special time with us. We know that it's frustrating and that we just picked up moved to Colorado, and we really appreciate the support, trust, and respect that we've gotten from you in allowing us to do what we feel so passionate about. And as you can see, the Jewish community here really is loving, helpful, and supportive too. We are so grateful to be connected to a community that we've only been part of for 5 months and feel such love and support.
Aww.
As we all know, the baby boy Basch's Hebrew name is Aryeh Shlomo Issac. For most of the pregnancy, we thought we had a name picked out. We were calling him that in utero. But then he was born, and that name just wasn't who he was. We just didn't feel that connection. This was a child who just 9 months ago was thought to be an ectopic pregnancy and survived the Yom Kippur surgery that, according to the doctors, was going to remove him from where he was. It turned out he's a keeper, even through his mother's pains, clumsiness, and broken bones. This child seemed to be strong, passionate, powerful, and driven, even in the womb. We needed a name that represented fearlessness, courage, and leadership. For days, I was thinking about what to name him, and nothing came to me. The past couple of days, however, I started singing Parak Shira to my little son. This has been meaningful for me for many months, and I hope to figure out a name while I was davening. As I got to name and the picture of the Aryeh, the lion, I felt in my gut that this was it. We were calling him. Okay. I felt in my gut that this was it. The description of the lion was fearsome, powerful, majestic. The king of the jungle inspires fear and awe. I don't hope our son scares people away, but we do hope he is strong, passionate, and a leader. The Mishnah urges us to be as powerful as a lion in serving God, certainly not in a destructive way, but in the sense that our will to do the right thing should be fearless. If we dedicate ourselves to discovering and acting on who we are and serving God in the appropriate way for us, the real King will send His blessing and enable us to carry it out successfully. This was a lesson that I learned while I was praying for my wife and my unborn child that Yom Kippur night. When choosing his name, we had thoughts of naming him after people that had passed away. The problem was, as we just mentioned, each individual is different, unique and special. The name had to feel right. The second name we decided on, Hebrew, has a lot of meaning to us. Shlomo was my mother's father's name, a man who was strong-willed, survived concentration camps, and stayed passionate about Judaism for years. Jody's grandfather, who passed away a couple of years ago, Moshe, unfortunately, God willing, we won't be able to have a baby named Moshe, because that's my middle name. Yet the Hebrew letters of Moshe are found in the name Shlomo, Mem Shin Hey. And both these men were passionate about Judaism, strong-willed and driven. It is our hope that our son develops and maintains these qualities, as well as willed and driven. Isaac, ever since Jody and I have dated, I've heard constantly how her grandfather Yitzhak Isaac has been watching over her and making sure she was protected. We are happy that we can name our child Isaac, named after a sweet, patient, and kind man, extremely connected to Judaism, and we hope he will be protected and watched over. In English, his legal name is going to be Ryan Breck. If any of you speak to Jody's brother Uri long enough, you'll hear his spiel about how unhappy he is about his name Uriel. People call him Uriel, people call him Ernie, he even gets urinal sometimes. We love the name Aryeh, but for his documents and we just don't want to hear him complain like his Uncle Ernie. I mean, I already see the similarities. Go check out both their feet. I mean, Breck is a cool name that allows us to feel connected to the mountains, snowboarding in Colorado. It was actually 2 years ago that Jody started having dreams of our baby boy waiting to be born, around the same time we visited Breckenridge, and decided, why not move to Colorado? Something about the mountains was grounding, peaceful, and allowed us to connect to nature and life in a way we haven't felt before. In many ways, Breck, both the person and the mountain, was the drive that allowed us to move forward and manifest our dreams into a reality. Again, Jody, Aryeh, and I would like to thank everyone for coming, and we look forward to sharing many more happy occasions together.
All right.